how to smash year 12 and get a 95 plus ATAR. In this video, this very raw, unedited video, I'm going to give you my top advice for destroying year 12 so that you can get whatever ATAR that you want. So if you're someone who's serious about success, please make sure you watch this entire video, not sure how long it's going to be, and take some notes, okay? Because like I want you to treat this as if I'm with you, talking to you one-to-one, all right? This video is that important. Let's just jump right into it, no more wasting time. So how to smash year 12 and get a 95 plus ATAR. Let's start with the first most fundamental thing to understand. And that is right now, you have a clean slate. Do you understand? Meaning everything you've done from year 7 all the way to year 11, all of these marks right here have not affected your ATAR. Okay, yes, it's pretty crazy, right? None of this has affected your ATAR. Okay, so if you failed year 11, for example, if you've done really bad in math or something, like if you did terribly throughout year 7 all the way to year 11, it hasn't affected your ATAR. In that the specific results you've gotten haven't actually directly impacted your ATAR, which means that you can still get whatever ATAR you want, okay? Which is awesome, right? You can actually still get a 95 plus ATAR. And thank God for this, by the way, because this was how I was able to make that comeback and achieve that 97 plus ATAR, because none of the results from this grade or these grades actually impacted the ATAR. So yes, the results that you've got in the past have not directly impacted your ATAR, but don't get too excited. It has, or it may indirectly impact your ATAR. Why? Because if you decide to keep the habits, right? The habits, the mindsets, right? Mindsets, the, study methods, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you decide to keep these the same, then your ATAR is going to be affected, okay? Because the truth is, yes, the marks themselves don't directly impact the ATAR, but what does carry through like all of the years are your habits, your study methods, the way you behave, the way you approach things. That is what's going to carry on, okay? And the reason why I was able to achieve that 97 plus ATAR, become that Dux in my cohort, was because these things I actually changed. I consciously changed these things. I didn't really care about the marks. I changed these things so that I could achieve that ATAR. So right now you have two choices. And I'm really speaking to that student who's not doing well right now, okay? If you did not do well in year 11, if you've never really done well in school to begin with, listen to me very carefully. You actually do have two choices. Choice number one is to keep these the same and then end up getting a 70 ATAR, 60 ATAR, whatever. It's gonna be a terrible ATAR. Or you actually fix these things so you can get a 95 plus ATAR, okay? So I need you to just consciously, I need you to understand this before moving on to year 12, okay? Because so many students, they say things like, oh, I've done so bad in year 11, and they're so burdened by the past. But what they don't realize is that those results that they've got in the past don't even carry on to year 12. But what will carry and what does carry are themselves. So instead of you sitting there and worrying about the mark, I want you to sit there and worry about fixing yourself. And that moves me on to the next step, okay? But to summarize that first point, you can still get any ATAR you want. Literally anything. Any ATAR you want, you can still get it, all right? But that won't happen unless you do the next step, which is you need to reflect, okay? You should have done this in the holidays, to be honest with you, but better now than later, right? So I need you to reflect on past years, okay? I need you to reflect on past years. What do I mean by this? Okay, please don't be stupid, okay? Don't be stupid. Einstein said it best. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So many students, they start year 12 and they say, oh, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to work super hard this year. But you need to understand, you always tell yourself that. Did you not say that in year 11? Did you not say that in year 10? Also, it's got nothing to do with how much you work. Because I know some students who, before they join my program, they do work really hard, but they're still doing bad. So it's not about that. What really it is about is seeing what you've done wrong in the past and fixing it. So what do I mean by reflect on past years? What mistakes have you made? Right? And don't reflect from year 7, reflect just from last year. Right? If you're year 12, just reflect from year 11. What mistakes did you make in year 11? For example, did you cram? Did you waste a lot of time? Did you get too distracted by your phone? Did you you know what mistakes you made the most? Okay, that's the first thing, mistakes. Then you want to ask yourself, what lessons did you learn? Right? Maybe a lesson that you've learned is that cramming makes me do terrible, or that I need to make sure I do more past paper questions, or whatever. These lessons are customized to yourself. Okay, and then finally, what I want you to start doing is I want you to start actually like analyzing yourself. Okay, so I'll give you an example right now. Let's say, for example, in the prelims, you did not do well. Let's say, I don't know, you had a biology exam and you got like, I don't know, 50%. Okay, I want you to analyze what you did to prepare for that bio exam. Okay, so ask yourself, how did I prepare for that exam? Okay, I done this, this, and this, and this, but yeah, I got 50%. So maybe the way you're preparing is wrong. That's the whole point I'm trying to get across. Analyze what you did for your exams in year 11 and see where the missing, like where the gaps are. So I'll give you an actual example. In year 11, I didn't do well in math. Okay, I studied very, very, very hard for math, and yet I still got 60%. So what I did at the start of year 12, or really at the end of year 11, I sat down and I was like, okay, how the hell did I do this bad in math, even though I studied so hard? So I sat there, I listed out everything I did. Okay, I studied by doing this, I studied by doing that, then I did this, 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 and boom, that's when the light bulb switched on. I realized that the way I was studying for math was completely, utterly ineffective. I didn't even do any practice questions. I just read notes and, wrote down notes. So the whole point of you analyzing your behavior is to see, okay, why is it that when I studied like this, I got such a bad result? Maybe I'm studying wrong. So that then you can fix it from there. Okay. So if you haven't done this already, please do this now. Mistakes, lessons, and analyzing of your past. Or let's say another example, just one more before I move on. Sorry about that. Is let's say, for example, in year 11, you had a very bad problem of procrastinating. Instead of just being, oh, I'm a procrastinator and then getting upset by it, figure out why you procrastinate. Okay, you know what? I procrastinate because of the PS5 that is next to me on my table. So you know what? For year 12, I'm going to remove that. Does that make sense? So remember, look at the title of the video, How to Smash Year 12. The way you smash Year 12 is really by fixing what you've done in year 11. Okay? So that's the second thing you need to do. Reflect. Okay? Well, not really a second. This wasn't a first thing, but you need to reflect on year 11. Don't be stupid. Don't just walk into year 12 doing the same things and, oh, let's expect to do better. Right? That's the first thing you need to do. Now, after you've reflected and done everything like that, what I need you to do right now in year 12, at the time of recording this video, it's like the first day of year 12 for most people. Please, I beg you, design your life. Okay? This is like, productivity 101. You need to design your life. Okay? Don't be an NPC who lives just doing whatever they want. Don't do that, okay? If you actually want to succeed in a calculated way, if you want to get a 95 plus ATAR in a calculated way, if you want to rank first in every subject in a calculated way, you need to set goals, okay? You need to set routines, okay? You need to set habits. Like all these things that seem cliche, that seem like, oh my God, I hear everyone say this. Like, there's a reason why I'm telling you this. This is exactly what I did. So let's break each of these down together. Okay, let me just change this. Let's break each of these down together. All right. 4 goals. What I mean by my setting goals is, what are your term 1 goals? Okay. Right now it's term 1 of year 12. What are your term 1 goals for each subject? What marks do you want to get? What rank do you want to get? And then also, what about ATAR? Like, what ATAR do you actually want? Right? Do you want a 90, 95, a 98, 99, 90, 85, 70? Set the goal of ATAR. If you haven't set that yet, then you don't know where you're going. And then also set goals in terms of personal things. So for example, number of study hours, right? How many hours you want to study, like per day or on the weekend, okay? Then next thing is routine. How does your routine look? Okay, if you have not done this already, like, you need to do this now. For example, what do you do after you wake up in the morning? Okay, and by the way, you don't need to do some Ashton Hall routine where you wake up at 4 a.m., put your face in some ice, then go boxing, then do X, Y. No. Just have something that you do every morning. For me, it was waking up, coffee, journal, reading. That's what I did. Okay, then, for example, after school, what are you going to do? How long is your break going to be? Right? When are you going to start studying? What time are you going to sleep? Like, map out all these things so that you have a productive day, right? A lot of people, they complain they're not productive, but then they don't even have a calendar and they don't even write down what they want to do, okay? And then habits. What habits are you going to have? All right. And again, when I say make habits, I don't mean you want to sit there and consciously think, what should I be doing? No, no, no. It's like the basic stuff. For example, maybe your habit is studying 2 hours every single day minimum. Maybe your habit is reading, right? Maybe your habit is waking up early, like 5 a.m., right? These are my habits, right? Map this out, okay? Because at the end of the day, your goals are a byproduct of you. So you need to actually be that you need to be that guy or be that girl, okay? So that's the first thing. I mean, that's the second thing, right? I haven't talked about anything about studying so far, okay? Once we've designed your life, now we can start the whole study process, okay? So right now, again, you've just started E12. It is the perfect timing to start studying and getting ahead. How? By doing this, okay? So here's a whole study process I want you to follow. All right. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on how to study because I have a whole video on that. I'll link it somewhere here on the video at the top. I have literally a whole video on my YouTube going over how to study. But here's like kind of the process you want to do for year 12. All right. Number one, what I want you to do is I want you to get your assessment schedule for all your subjects. Okay. If you don't have this already, go ask your teacher for it. What an assessment schedule is basically like, it looks something like this. It has like table like that. And basically it lists out what things are coming up. So for example, we might say like, week 6, you have like a, topic test on crime for legal studies or something, right? That's an assessment schedule. You want to get that assessment schedule and you want to block that in your own timetable, okay? So the way I'd recommend you do this is I'd literally recommend you just go on a Google Doc and list out, like for example, let me take out my thing here. Just go on a Google Doc and literally just do this. Okay, be like, okay, legal studies. We have something in week 6, topic test on crime, and that's like 20%, right? And then for bio, we have something in, week 8, and that's on a reproduction, and that's like 10%, like some handing or whatever. You get the point. You want to map this all out, then you want to print it out and you want to have it right in front of you on your desk so you can see it visually every single day. It's funny because a lot of people cram, right? Cramming is a big, big, big problem. You might cram yourself. But the easiest way to stop cramming is to just be conscious, meaning being conscious of what's coming up. Being conscious that, okay, in around 2 weeks, I have an exam coming up. If you're just conscious of it, you won't cram, okay? So first thing is get your assessment schedule. Second thing, I'm going to combine these 2 points. So none and 2 is to get your assessment schedule and then block it in. So you're conscious of it, okay? Block it in. Then number 3, as part of the study process, is get the syllabus, right? And understand, okay? Guys, if you didn't know this already, everything is coming from your syllabus, okay? This was important in year 11, this was important in year 10, and now it is extremely important in year 12, all right? If you want to guarantee you understand everything, if you want to guarantee you do the right things and you know what you're focusing on, look at the syllabus, okay? Open up the syllabus and read ahead, okay? Actually understand what the hell you're learning. In biology, for example, you should know that, okay, module 5 is on this, module 6 is on that, module 7 is on that, module 8 is on that. You should have an understanding of everything, right? So you know where you're going. That's number 3. Number 4, this is the most important, right? Take notes. Please get ahead, okay? Get ahead of the content from the first week of E12. How do you get ahead? Weekends and after school. Okay? If you're always ahead of the content in year 12, even by a single dot point, just one dot point, you don't understand how powerful that is. In year 12, I was literally never, ever, ever behind. Why? Because after school, I'd get ahead. On the weekends, I'd get ahead. And I was always, always, always ahead. And here's the power of getting ahead, okay? Because a lot of people, when I tell them to get ahead, they misinterpret me, they get ahead, and they end up doing terribly because they're doing it wrong. The whole point of you getting ahead is not so you can be on topic 8 and the class is on topic 1. The whole point is so that you give yourself more time to understand the concept, more time to do practice, and more time to get feedback. Okay. Let's say, for example, you start topic 1 with the class. Okay. If your class takes 4 weeks to do topic 1, and then you're on topic 2 and you get ahead, right? While the class is on topic 1 for 4 weeks, that means you have 4 weeks of just genuine understanding, practice, and getting feedback. That's the beauty of it. And the reason why this is so powerful goes back to this point. Let's say you do legal studies and you have a topic test in week 6 on crime. If you get ahead on crime, the more you get ahead on crime, the more practice you can do, therefore, the more feedback you can get, and therefore, the better you do on your topic test. That's how you rank first, and that's how you destroy everyone every single term in year 12. Okay? Trust me, I know I became the Dux of my cohort. Okay? I was ahead a lot. And that's what you want to do, get ahead. And then finally, the last thing as part of the study process is start practicing early. Okay? I cannot stress this enough. Okay, right now you have access to all the HSC past papers. Literally go search up on Google NESA past papers and you'll get access to everything. So don't BS me and be like, oh, I don't have access to papers. You even have the trial papers themselves. Okay, please, if there's one thing I need you to do, start doing practice questions as soon as possible. All right, I'm telling you right now. As soon as you understand and finish a topic, do practice questions on it. You do topic 1, practice questions. Topic 2, practice questions. Just do more practice questions because practice is the most effective method. The analogy I use is boxing. If you want to like prepare for a boxing match, you do that by sparring someone, or sparring another human. Same thing with an exam. If you want to do well, it's by replicating an exam, which is by doing questions. Okay, so that is really what I want you to focus on for the start of year 12. It's this process. Now, again, if you want the nitty gritty details on how to study, I have a different video on that. You can watch that. Okay, but that's the whole study process. All right. Now, let's end this video with some final tips. I'm just going to literally give you guys, so I don't overwhelm you with, and again, if please write down what videos you want me to make and I'll make them for you, right? But here are just some 3 tips that I want you to understand right now, okay? This is genuinely heartfelt tips from someone who used to fail and got a 97+ ATAR, which is me. Tip number 1, okay? Content will never be the issue, okay? Listen, so many students start year 12 and they get a tutor for every single one of their subjects. They get a biology tutor, a math tutor, everything. They've got their tutors. And because they have tutors, they delusionally believe that they're set. But let me tell you something right now, my friend. Content will never, ever be the issue. It will not be that. Like, it's so funny. People, when they do bad in biology, they think they need to get a bio tutor. When in reality, it wasn't the content. It wasn't the content. It was them. That's why they did bad. Someone fails math, they think, oh my God, I need to get a math tutor. They still do bad. Why? Because they are the problem. So the point I'm trying to get across is that get a tutor if you want. I don't give a crap. But don't expect that tutor to be the reason why you do well. A tutor is just another teacher. And you already have teachers at school. Do you understand what I'm trying to get across? So you need to not focus on the content this year. You need to focus on making sure you're doing the right things, making sure that you're studying properly, making sure that you're doing practice questions, make sure you're preparing early, make sure you're actually doing the right things, okay? Because me personally, I know so many people who get tutors and they still do bad. Not because of the tutor, right? The tutors are fine. It's because they're not even addressing the core issue. If you failed year 11, for example, if you did not do well in year 11 and you think a tutor is going to fix you, you're completely deluded. A tutor is a band-aid. You need to fix the actual problem, right? And if you want to do this, then check the link in the description down below and apply. I'd love to help you out, okay? I'm telling you right now, and just for some context, by the way, if you're looking at me saying, but why the hell are you saying this? I run a mentorship program. I mentor students. I've mentored hundreds of people and I've helped hundreds of people go from literally failing school to achieving a 97+ ATAR. Do you understand? Okay. I've helped hundreds of people. All right. And I'm telling you right now, you know what? Just for some proof, right? Just so you can actually see it. If I literally just go on the wins here, like there's literally hundreds of these wins. English marks, math results, like all these wins, all these people that you see here, right? All these people that you see here, they all had tutors when they were doing bad. Yet after they joined Dux Academy and I showed them how to fix themselves, they end up getting 90% and above. Okay, so this is not me talking out of my backside. This is actual evidence. All right. Again, I'm not hating on tutors. I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just telling you, be aware. Okay. So that's the first thing. Content will never be the issue. The issue will always go back to you. Okay. It's not hard to understand the bio concept, right? Just it's really not that hard. It's never the problem. All right. It's you. Okay. That's the first tip. Second tip is please practice early. All right. Don't leave practice questions and past papers to 2 days before the exam or 3 days before the exam. Start literally as soon as you're able to. Okay? Because the earlier you do a practice question, the earlier you get feedback, and the earlier you get feedback, the earlier you improve, the earlier you improve, the better you do. Okay? That's simple. And then finally, tip number 3. Again, I'll be uploading many more videos on YouTube about my different tips on Year 12. Again, comment whatever topic you want me to talk about. Tip number 3 for Year 12 is lock in and do not waste time. Okay? Please. Now, this might sound so obvious, right? But listen, Year 12 is going to fly, like actually fly. I'm telling you right now, like I spoke to my students who are in Year 12 the other day, and they've even told me, like, oh my God, how has it been a year already? Like I'm telling you, Year 12 is going to fly so fast. So lock in. Don't waste time. Do not waste time. If you scroll right now, delete TikTok. If you scroll, delete Instagram. Just, it's like, it's not worth it. And I'm telling you, the best feeling in Year 12 is finishing Year 12 being like, wow, I worked my ass off. And that's what you want to try to do. Okay? Lock in and do not waste time. And I actually have a video too on how to lock the F in. I'll link it somewhere too. All right. So there you have it. That's all for today's video. If you did not do well in Year 11, I highly, highly recommend you to check out the first link in the description down below, because right now it is your chance to fix yourself before Year 12 is over. Because if you fix yourself now at the start of Year 12, you can genuinely get any ATAR you want. And if you are able to do that with guidance and actual mentorship from me, you will guarantee your success. I 100%, like, I'm certain of it. Okay, so check the link down below, and let's make this year your year, and let's prove the haters wrong, and let's make your parents proud. I'll speak to you soon.